Hello there. I see somebody. Let's see, am I connected here? Okay, looks like I'm good. Let me know who's here, where you're from. I'll just wait a little bit, see if some more people hop on. Where is everybody today? Well, I will go ahead and get started. I'm not sure where everyone is. I don't see anyone. I hope I'm live. I'm going to go out and check. It says I'm live. Anybody there? Oh, here we go. Here's somebody. Hello there. Let me know who's there. Say hi. I was getting worried because no one was. Oh, here we go. Here's some people. Hi, Kristen. I was getting nervous because it said I was live, but nobody was coming on. I was like, am I really live? But I guess I am. So there's somebody else too. So how are you, Kristen? Hi, Denise. So I apologize for just having my hands today. I was going to have my face too, but we had some work going on here this morning and I couldn't get into my craft room. I had pretty much everything ready. I'm hoping I haven't forgotten anything. So it was a bit of a rush at the last minute. I didn't have time to get myself all set up. Yeah, I had fun with this card, Kristen, so I hope you'll like it. So how's everyone doing with the heat? It's very hot here in Sacramento. We're having a major heat wave. So I hope you're all surviving that. So anyway, I will go ahead and get started and everyone else will catch the replay or hop on as they can. So welcome everyone. It's great to see you all today. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining me too. So today, I actually was quite organized. I actually got my card done ahead of time this time for today. So I'm making a card with the fresh cut flowers and the new dies, matching dies that are just available for the week of September. So you may or may not know that Stampin' Up! Has a promotion going on right now called Perfect Partners. And what they've done is they have introduced 6 new sets of dies to match existing stamp sets that are already in the catalogues. So there's 2, I believe, from the current mini catalogue. The others are from the annual catalogue. So here are the 6. So there's Apple Blossoms. So let me see, which are the ones? Yeah, so I think Apple Blossoms is in the new mini, I believe. And then here's Fresh Cut Stems, the ones I'm going to be using today. And then there are also dies for the Playful This Birthday Piggy, which is adorable. This is on my list. I haven't bought it yet, but it's definitely on my list. And look at that, there's even like a little wagon for the piggy. It's so cute. Trimming the Tree, that is in the annual catalogue also, so it's a Christmas one. Lots of lovely dies for that. That's definitely on my list too. And then there's the Waterfall dies to go with Waterfall Canyon, and this is a really cool, unusual stamp set and dies with lots and lots of possibilities. And then the last one is the Yeti, Yeti to Party. This is in the mini catalogue, so there's the dies to go with that, with the little Yeti and all the other accessories. So the deal with these is they are only available during the month of September or while supplies last. And so if you already have the stamp set, you can go ahead and purchase the dies. But if you don't have either of them and you want to buy the bundle, you would still you'll save 10% on the bundle, like Stampin' Up does with the other bundles in the catalogue. So like I say, only around for a month. So if you like the look of any of these, don't wait too long, grab them, because it says for September or while supplies last. So I'm thinking that they might even run out before then. So anyway, today I'm going to be using the Fresh Cut Flowers. I did want to remind you too that I'm giving away a paper pumpkin this month, the sunflowers ones. This is the August's kit, and I'm not going to go all through it because I did last week actually, but I can show you the instructions. Maybe. Let's see if I have the instructions here. Anyway, it makes 9 lovely cards. Let's see, do I have the instructions? Oh, here they are, right on the bottom. So you get this really pretty box, which you can reuse and re-gift. And then these are the cards that this kit makes. You get 9 card bases, so you can make these 9 cards, and then these lovely envelopes. So in fact, demonstrators have been making many more than 9 cards with the kit, because you can get really creative and make lots more. Just one example. I don't like to say, I won't spend too long on this because we looked at it last week, but this is one of the card bases. So you can see you can cut this down the middle and use it and put it mounted on one of your own card bases. And you've got 2 cards right there. You've doubled the amount right there. So you can do that with all of them actually. So I'm giving away one of these this month. So anybody that places a $30 order from me will go into a drawing for this kit. So I know a lot of people missed out on this last week. They're not Paper Pumpkin subscribers. And then when they saw this, they were like, oh darn, I wish I got it. So here's your chance to get a free kit, and then you can try it out and see if you'd like to subscribe. And the kits this time of year are the best, I think. We've got a Halloween one next month, which is little treat boxes. And then Octobers and Novembers are always Christmas themed. There's usually tags or cards or something like that. And they're always really, really great. So it's a really good time to try out a subscription. So yeah, $30 order. And in fact, for every $30 you spend, you will get a ticket into the prize drawing. And then on 1st of October, on World Card Making Day, I will draw a name and we'll see who's the winner for this Paper Pumpkin kit. So that's that. All right, well, let's get on with the card. So I hope I have everything. I apologize in advance because, like I say, I was I couldn't get into my craft room for a little bit this morning, and I didn't have everything quite ready, so let's hope I didn't forget anything critical. But anyway, let me show you the card. Woo-hoo. Here it is. So it's actually kind of a see-through card. I don't know if you can see, it's got little, I'm using the dots die, and excuse me, I actually got this idea from a lady called Jennifer McGuire. She's not a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but she's a card maker, and she made a similar card to this with a different dies and different flowers, but that's where I got my inspiration. So kind of fun. So I thought I would do a different color one today. So I'm going to do a grey granite card base and Daffodil Delight flowers, because I love that color combination too, and then we can see which one we like best. Kristen says, never thought. Yeah, well, I probably wouldn't have either, except for like I say, I saw this Jennifer McGuire doing it. So let's start with this. Let me grab my card base and let's die cut this. So here's the die, and what's nice about this is it's called Dots and Spots, and it's in the annual catalogue. And what it does is it just cuts out the holes. It doesn't actually have, you can see, it doesn't have a cut, an edge that cuts. So you can just, it just cuts the holes basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up kind of, I want to put my score line right along the top here, and then I'm going to kind of line it up so that it's kind of centered side to side, and I'm going to grab a little bit of tape and oops, I just put a scratch in my desk there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it, and actually I realized that I trimmed my card a little bit narrow, but I can do that afterwards. So let's see, let me wrap this round. I made it a little bit narrow because I wanted the squares to kind of, the diamonds to hang over the edge just a little bit. Let's tape it this way. So I'm just going to run over to my die cut machine that's right there and do this. That was one thing I didn't do, was bring my die cut machine over. I've got my cords hanging down here. So I'll be right back. Right, there we go. Now, one thing that you do get is lots of little tiny circles, obviously, and you could save them all and make a shaker card. So here they are. Let's take this apart carefully. That to one side. So I'm just tearing this tape off really, really carefully. There we go. And then there's our card base. Now, I've got a little, bring in my little ladybug. I've got my little ladybug vacuum cleaner. Have you seen these before? They're so cute. So here we go. All right. So I got this on Amazon if anyone's interested. It's a little vacuum cleaner. So cute, but it's really handy. I keep it by my die cut machine, and it's really great for that. Okay, so now let's do some stamping. Let's stamp the flowers and the sentiment and get all the stamping done. So let's see. I'm going to stamp. There's a couple of different flower images in here. I like this silhouette. I'm going to try something with this because I like to do cards that have black silhouettes on them. I'm going to actually use the big flower today, and let's put it, let me grab some white cardstock. Actually, we don't need that. And I didn't put the backing on here yet, but that's okay. And I'm doing it in the Stamparatus just so that if I don't get a great crisp image the first time, I can ink it up again. So we will ink this. And I'm using Memento ink. See, yes, I was using Stays On for something yesterday, and I suddenly thought, oh, I hope I don't have Stays On and not Memento. So let's give that a good stamp. Got a little something there. Oh, that looks pretty good. I think I'll do it just one more time, kind of down that middle stem. Didn't quite get. There we go, that looks good. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to do, let's see, where did I get there? I had a happy birthday for, oh yes, that's over here. Got it already mounted. So this is from, oh my gosh, I got to remember which stamp set this is from. Do I have it here? Oh yes, it's from this stamp set, the Happy Birthday that I'm using, Artistically Inked, which is in the annual catalogue. And I'm going to grab a kind of a skinny scrap, not that skinny, and I'm going to ink this. And again, I want to make sure that I get a really nice bold image, so that's why I'm doing it in the Stamparatus. So I get that, and then we can do all the die cutting together. The birthday looks good. I'm just going to do the happy a little bit more. There we go, that looks nice. So I can set that one aside. And then while I've got my ink out, I think I will just stamp the inside of the card too. That way we'll have all the stamping done. So I've got 3 squares die cut, and I did these with the let's see, I have them here. These are using the Stylish Shapes dies, and this is the largest square here, and it cuts a nice stitched edge into them too. So I've cut 3 of them because I'm going to put one on the front, and then I'm going to put one on the back here because that's where you'll be able to write, and then I've got the one inside. So that's why I've got 3. You could leave out this one, but you'll see I think it looks a bit cleaner with that one. And you could do a smaller sentiment on here and just write on here. If you liked, but I'm going to do all 3. So I'm going to grab now this sentiment that I used on the inside, and obviously you could use whatever sentiments you like. Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine is from this stamp set right here, Happiness Abounds, right here. And I thought this went well with the Happy Birthday because it's got the block letters as well as the scripty one, so I thought that would go well. So let's do that. I have that right here. And I'm just going to bring back my Stamparatus so that I can use the. Or do I have another pad? Let's see. Just looking for. Here we go. Just looking for something to do my stamping on, as I have a photopolymer stamp. So I need this to be diagonal, and actually what I'm going to do is, if I have some grid paper, let's bring this in instead, because I'm going to use this to kind of help me a little bit line it up. So if I put my square kind of lined up with the grid paper, I find it a little bit easier to, because this has got to be going across, you know, not, it's going to be going at an angle, not on the square, it's going to be on the diamond. So let's make sure this is going to stamp all right. That's good. So now I'm going to stand up to do this. I can kind of use the grid lines to try and line up. There we go, that looks pretty good. I do find that helpful. Right, so that is all the stamping done, and I'm going to keep this here actually because we're going to do some colouring. So on this card I used Fresh Freesia. It's Fresh Freesia cardstock, and then Fresh Freesia and Granny Apple Green. But I'm going to do, I saw another demonstrator doing a flower card. I don't remember if it was these flowers or not, but she used Grey Granite and Daffodil Delight, and I thought it looked really lovely, so I thought I would give that a try. So I don't come up with all these ideas on my own. I just copy things that other people do and just kind of tweak them a little bit. So let's do the flowers. I'll try and not take too long with all the colouring. I'll the ink away. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Now you could, there we go, it's a bit better. You could do these on watercolour paper too, or you could, oh dear, my Daffodil Delight is not very good then, so I might have to go get another one. I'll use the fine tip. Yeah, you could watercolour or use, what else could you do? You could use a blender pen. So I'm kind of going around the areas that I think will be darker with the dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm not going to do really fancy colouring. And then I'm kind of going to go around where I think would be darker. With the imagine the sun's kind of coming from the top. I'm going to look to see how I did my other one. So figuring the areas kind of nearer the bottom will be darker, and then I'll just go in with the light one. Hopefully my light one's better, yes. And then I'm using just a circular motion to kind of blend in the colours. And you do want to use Memento ink here, or an ink that won't react with your alcohol markers. So this is a water-based ink, so it won't react with the alcohol. If you used an alcohol-based ink, like StazOn, it would react with the markers, so you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do the same with all these flowers. Yeah, watercolouring would be nice for these. So what's everybody doing? Let's see, it's Wednesday. Anybody got any plans coming up? We are off to Houston this weekend. It's my brother-in-law's, one of my brother-in-laws who lives there. It's his 75th birthday, so we're off there. And I think it's going to be a bit cooler there, but of course the humidity is high, isn't it? So I'm not sure whether it's going to feel cooler or not. Oops, I got something on the end of my tip. So I'll have to see. But by the time we get back, it's going to be a little bit cooler here, thank goodness. So you'll notice I'm doing one flower at a time, just because I don't want the ink to dry. It blends best. The Stampin' blends blend best when they're wet. So I want to keep them, you know, just do one flower at a time. I'm just going to go back in and put a little bit more color on this one. So you can go back in again. What you do have to be careful about is that if you saturate the paper too much, the color will blend outside the lines, and that can be a bit disappointing if you spent a lot of work coloring. But like I say, I'm just doing some kind of quick coloring today. I'm going to color in these little tiny ones here. See, this one bled outside. I don't know if you can see, but it bled outside the line. I can't really see it on camera, but it did just a little bit. But that's okay. Because it's a pale colour, I don't think anyone will notice. Now, I think those are leaves, so I'm going to do those in the grey granite. So now let's go in with the grey granite dark. And I'm just going to kind of, again, do a bit of quick shading. I'm just kind of following the lines on the leaves. Maybe do a bit more along the bottom. Again, I'll colour in, do one area at a time. And again, I'm using a circular motion with the brush tip. I like the brush tip better, for it seems like it blends better. So I always try and use that if I can, unless it's a very small area when I feel like I need the pen nib. I don't know if that's what it's called. You know, to get into the more detail. Just going to go back in a little bit more on that. So again, I'm not doing really anything that fancy. So yeah, we're off to Houston for a birthday celebration. Yeah, and then thank goodness when we get back, it's going to be cooler into the high 80s and low 90s. So I'm ready for some fall weather. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely ready. My plants are ready too, because we're supposed to be conserving water, so my plants are ready for some cooler weather and more water. So here I'm kind of using the brush tip still, but being really careful. What about my dog? Do you mean when I go to Houston? What about my dog? She's going to my neighbour's. I've got a neighbour, Rhonda, and she used to have a chocolate lab called Lindsay, and she was very similar in temperament to Tally. But they lost her probably a couple of years ago now. She had to be put down. So Rhonda's always happy to watch Tally and get her dog. They haven't got another dog yet because they've got a lot of travel and stuff going on. And also they had both kids moved. Oh dear, call from Cal Fire. Sorry about my phone ringing. That's my landline. Yeah, Rhonda, both her kids moved back home during COVID, and one of them had a dog, and then the other one got a puppy. So she was kind of waiting for them to all move out before she got a dog also. But they've got lots of trips coming up. Their son is getting married, and so they wanted to wait until they were going to be home for a while before they got another dog. But they're always happy to have Tally. All right, so now I've finished the colouring, and it wasn't anything, like I say, very, very special. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go in with my Stampin' Right black marker, and I'm going to colour in the little, what are these, stamens on the flowers. I think that just adds a little bit of something. Doesn't have to be very precise. And then you could do the little stems, the stamens, a little bit more if you like to. So is that what you meant, Denise? What was happening to Tally? She's hanging in there. She's got, you probably know she's got kidney disease, but she's hanging in there. She's doing quite well. She seems quite happy. All right, so now that's done, let me grab the dies and I will die cut this. So I'm using, there's lots of dies. So there's dies to match all the stamped images. There's only 4 stamping. So there's dies to match those, and then there's lots of extra ones, extra little things that you can, standalone dies that you can use too. And you'll see I've used a couple of those. So I'll grab this large die and I'll put a little bit of tape. Where's my tape? Oh yes, your grandpuppies. Yeah, we had our granddog Odie this last weekend because my son and his fiance went to Nashville for a wedding actually. So we had Odie. And his fiance actually has a dog called Farley, who's a Dalmatian. It's Chris Farley, Farley for short, which is funny. I'm just trying to line this up perfectly, pretty much perfectly. It's hard to see from above. All right, that will work for that. And then this one I'm going to die cut with this die from the Harvest Dies. Yes, Denise, I posted a picture of Odie and Tally on Facebook, waiting for their after walk treats. And then we'll do this one too. So let's see what I do with my tape. Tape, where are you? What's my tape? Well, I had some tape here somewhere, but I seem to have misplaced it, or it's hiding under something. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to die cut this also. This fits nicely. See if I can center it. I only just stamped. It's going to be slightly off center because I didn't leave enough room. Oh, you know what I did? I'm going to show you this on the mini die cut machine. I'm going to do this separately. Let me go die cut this because I remember what I did now. So I'm going to die cut this and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's this, our flower. It's pretty. And what I did, I have my mini machine here, so let me show you what I actually did. I didn't want the die quite as long. So sometimes what I do, let me zoom out a little bit close here. Sometimes if I want to get a nice even strip, but I don't want, I just want it, I want to do my own cutting at the ends. I just want it straight, or I want it at an angle. What I'll do is I'll use a die like this to die cut it, and then I can just trim off the ends however I like. But if I want, you'll see on this one, oops, I wanted to get the pretty ends that the die cut gives it, but I needed it a bit shorter. So the way we can do that is I'll line this up how I want it one end. I'd forgotten that I did this. Just like this. And run it through my baby boss. Start this way round. And what I can do is I can get rid of that piece. I can now take this and it'll fit right in there. It'll fit right in, and I can just position this then how I'd like it. And it's just going to cut that end off. So then I can run this back through again. So you can kind of adapt your dies to fit your sentiments that way. There, see, you've got a perfect, I'm a little bit crooked, but see, then you've got both ends of the die and it's a little bit shorter because this was a bit too long. So there's a little trick. So let's move this that way. So now we just need to do the assembling, the assemblage. So let's bring in all my pieces. Here's my card base. I've got my squares and I've got my flower. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach this. Oh, first thing we're going to do is trim this down. You see how I made this like a little narrower because I didn't like how it looked like this. I wanted it a bit narrow. And in fact, the one that I saw that Jennifer McGuire did, she did her card base a lot narrower. So this stuck out quite a bit. And I didn't like it that much, but so let me grab my trimmer and my ruler, and I'll see how much I trimmed off. So let's see. This is 4 1/4. I know that. And this is, let's see, it's a touch under 3 3/4, but let's say 3 3/4. So I want to trim this somewhat evenly. Let's see if I can do this without messing it up. So 3 3/4. So I think I want to take some off each side. Let's give this a try. See if I can do this. So that's one side. Let's see, 3 3/4. Mine's going to be maybe a touch narrower, but that's all right. Oh, it's about the same. It's just, I don't know if you can see here, but it's just a touch less than 3 3/4. So I think if you cut that first row of circles off, that's what you get. So I think this is probably about the same width. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Right. So now let's grab, so then that will just hang over the edge just a little bit. The nice thing is we can use the dots to kind of help us line it up. So let's grab some adhesive. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a silicone mat, because what I don't want to put adhesive on the back here and then have it go through to the card underneath. Although that is going to get you know, more pieces inside to back it up, I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying, but let me grab my silicone mat here. That's one thing I did forget to bring over, and I can put it on. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back here using my Stampin' Seal, but I'm just not going to go quite to the edges. I'm just going to go across like this, and I'm just going to not quite go all the way to the edge there. And then, like I say, I can kind of use the dots here to center it. So I'm kind of looking at my dots here, 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 and then the same at the bottom. That looks pretty good. Then we can actually put the inside ones in. So this one is easy because I can just line it up. And again, I'm going to do the same. Just not go quite to the very edge. And then this one just gets lined up exactly with, let's see the best way to do it. Make sure we get those little corners lined up. That one's easy. And now for this inside one that has the sentiment, I'm going to put adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to put it on here and then close it up this way. That way I'll make sure I've got it in the right spot. So make sure that we do it up the right way too. Stick it on upside down. So again, more adhesive. And not quite going all the way to the edge. So then, it needs to go this way, right? So I'm going to just put it on here. Make sure it's lined up perfectly. And little points on the side are covered. It's not quite right. A bit tricky. There we go, and then we'll close that. And then there we go. So now we just need to put these, decorate the front. Oh, I've got like a little something there. I'll have to put a little, got some little splodges there. I'll have to put a little embellishment over it, or a flower. So I'm going to put this on with dimensionals, I think. Let me find some mini ones. And I think I'm going to put it about like that. And then I've got these other pieces here. So these are some of the other die cuts. So I've got a couple like this, and then I've got some other little flowers. So we'll put this on first. And I'm not going to put any right at the top here or at the bottom, because I don't want those to show through, get stuck, you know, in the holes, or show through from the other side. So I'm just going to put my dimensionals on the parts that are going to be, I don't know why I've got mini ones. Big ones would be better, wouldn't they? Oops, this one's stuck to me. Right, let's see how that goes. Might need one more under there, right there. You could put a couple more on if you're doing this, but I'm trying to not be sitting here forever taking the backs off dimensionals. So what do you all do, what are your favourite things to do to keep cool when it's hot like this? Swimming, eat ice cream. There's a few other people watching, but they're not speaking up. Hello everyone else who's watching out there. Yeah, and we got a warning last night that there was a possible of rolling blackouts, so we had to turn our air conditioning down to 80 or up to 80. I'm never quite sure whether to say up or down, for a few hours between, I think it was 4 and 9 last night. Ice cream. Yeah, that sounds good to me too, Kristen. All right, so I'm just looking at how I placed it on the other card. I think that's good. And then let's put some of these little pieces in. So I might have to trim off a little bit off here. Some scissors. Okay, scissors. Yeah, ice cream is always good. Any time of year, actually. I like ice cream in the winter too. So I think I can pull this up a bit and tuck it underneath. Yeah, let me put a little bit of glue. Little dab will do it. Oops, come back. Let's put this under here. And then we'll put another one this way. Let's cut this. I could have put these on first, but I kind of like to put my main image on first and then tuck my other things under. Actually, probably don't even need to put glue, just stick it on with the dimensional. Now I'm going to put a little bit more glue under some of these just to hold them down a bit more and so they don't get kind of folded back when you put them in the envelope. But let's put on the sentiment and then I can decide if I want to put anything else on. So this is not going to get popped up, it's just going to go across the middle here. So a bit of adhesive. Could use liquid glue here too, but and I'm going to use my tweezers. Tweezers is good for something like this. Right, so I'm going to try and center it, kind of left to right and top to bottom. Oops, oh dear. That looks about right. Right, so now I can have a little bit more, so I can put one of these. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Maybe over here. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And then I'll add some of the little tiny ones too. So let's just put, I didn't use any of these on the other one. Put that there. And then there's these tiny, tiny ones here. So I could put a couple of those. Let's see, I think I might just put glue onto here. And then I can use my tweezers. A bit fiddly. Oh, there's a bigger one. Is this a bigger one? Oh, yeah, let's use this big one. So you could use, if you don't want to use a square here, you could use a circle. That would look nice too. And I'm a little bit uneven. I've got a bit more of a point sticking out this side than the other, but I don't think anyone's going to notice. So I think that's good. So I think I will put a little bit of, tiny bit of glue. Let's see. If I go from underneath, maybe. Not sure. I'm trying to make sure that I don't get, there we go, glue through the holes or too much glue. This is kind of optional. Come on, stick, little flower. There we go. And I'll just do a couple this side. And then I'll do this one. All right, I think that'll do it. I don't want them completely flat because they won't show so much. And in fact, I'm not sure, the grey blends in, the grey granite blends in a lot more. I wonder if I should have had like a third colour. I do like the grey and the yellow, but these don't show up that much, do they, as much as on here? What do you think? Let's add some embellishments and then we can see. So I thought I would use, let's see that on. I thought I would use these. Or should I use something shinier? What do you think? These might get a bit lost. I could do the black ones or the grey. I was going to do the grey ones, but they might get a bit lost. Maybe I should use shiny ones. Let's see if I have any rhinestones. Let's see here. Let's see what's shiny, says Kristen. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to grab some rhinestones here. I think I liked the idea of the grey ones to start with, but now I'm thinking that having actually made the card that they're going to get a little bit lost. So I think these are actually the Festive Pearls that are in the mini catalogue. I used just the silver ones. You see how round they are. But I just grab some rhinestones for this one. I think that'll work. And let's see my take your pick tool. So let's put some of these on. So I put some, oops, a bit too much putty hanging out there. Oh no, not enough putty. There we go. So let's do one here. And one there. And then let's do one in there. And then we'll do a couple more kind of dotted around. Usually I do 3, but I think this card calls for a few more, I think. Let's do one here. And maybe one more. I don't want to do 4 corners. Maybe another one down here like that. That's nice. All right, so there's that one. Let's clear the decks a little bit so I can show you both. So here's the Fresh Freesia one. And then here's Grey Granite. I do like this one too. It's a bit more muted, isn't it? You could make this one as a sympathy card, maybe it would be pretty. Because it is a bit, like I say, the colour is a bit more muted. But I think I would maybe do these in Daffodil Delight if I did it again. Or So Saffron or something. Or white. White might look quite nice too. Other than that, they're both the same. So what do you think? Hope you like it. Hope you'll give it a try. And you could use a different, you don't have to use this die. If you have a different background die like that greenery one that we have that just makes the little, it doesn't cut all the way through, but it just does the little piercings in the shapes of leaves. It's really pretty. That would be pretty on this too. Or if there's another die that's, you know, a background die. But anyway, I hope you like that. Thanks so much for watching. I forgot to put my new host code up the top, but I will add that to the description, and I'll post all the products that I've used in the description also. So don't forget, tomorrow there'll be new weekly deals coming, so make sure I'll post on my Facebook page and I'll send out an email about those, but make sure you look out for those. And yeah, get your dies in September before they run out. So, all right, well, thanks everyone for joining me. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.